The forecast has arrived for the Social Security COLA increase for 2024. Now, this just came out 3 days ago. Take a look. 299.899, the latest. The July 2023 Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers, or the CPI-W, which was released August 10th, so this just came out, was 299.899, which is 2.7% above the fiscal year 2023 baseline of 291.901. The next CPI-W release is going to be set for September 13th. So, does this mean that the increase for cost of living adjustment is going to be 2.7%? Well, not exactly, but we've got some forecasts. I'm going to let you know exactly what this means, cover the details of the calculations, what we can expect over the course of the next couple months, and also it sure would be nice if we would get a $200 per month increase across the board to all Social Security recipients, SSI, SSDI, retirement included, like we saw promised by President Joe Biden. Well, stick around to the end because we do have a piece of legislation that is currently being mentioned in Congress that will do just that, and also Social Security tax-free. I'll let you know about the new piece of legislation to eliminate the Social Security double tax taking place right now, which many are saying is just not fair. Taxing people when they put in and then taxing them when they pull out. They're saying stop the double taxation. So I'm going to dive into all the details, get you caught up. This just came out a couple days ago, as I mentioned, but do me a favor before we dive in. Don't forget, smash the like button, hit subscribe to stay up to date, totally free. I'll keep you up to speed on Social Security and everything going on. But with that being said, let's start off with this news report that just came out. It's about a minute long, and then let's dive into the details of the Social Security cost of living adjustment, or COLA, increases coming for 2024.
If you are one of the 67 million Americans collecting Social Security benefits, expect a smaller raise next year because of a slowdown in inflation. Social Security recipients can expect those monthly checks to rise about 3% next year compared to an 8.7% cost of living increase in 2023 when inflation was soaring. Annual changes to payments can make a big difference in making ends meet for many. For many retirees, Social Security is the only source of retirement income that's designed to keep pace with inflation.
So you heard her say about roughly a 3% increase for 2024. However, that could change. We're still waiting to see. It requires 3 pieces of information, and we've just received the first of those 3. Now, first, how is the COLA calculated? So that way we can understand what we're going to be looking at here in just a second. The Social Security Act specifies a formula for determining each COLA. According to the formula, COLAs are based on increases from the Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers, or the CPI-W, and they want to change this to the CPI-E for the elderly. Now, the CPI-Ws are calculated on a monthly basis by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. A COLA effective for December of the current year is equal to the percentage of increase, if any, in the CPI-W from the average of the third quarter of the current year to the average of the third quarter of last year in which the COLA became effective. So in other words, we just look at Q3, we compare last year's to this year, and they see what the increase is, and that is how they determine how much they're going to be bumping it up. So that's why last month's reading for July was critical for the COLA, because it is the first reading that's going to be determining how much the increase is going to be. Now, they're going to be looking at August and September as well to see the average of them and then determine the cost of living adjustment or the COLA increase. Now, if there is an increase, it must be rounded to the nearest tenth of 1%. If there is no increase, or if the rounded increase is 0, there is no cost of living adjustment for the year. Now, here's the calculations for 2022. So they use the base average of 268.421 for the year 2021, and you can see the chart here. Also shown in the table is the average CPI-W for the third quarter of 2022, which is 291.901. Because the average exceeded the 268.421 base by 8.7%, the COLA effective for December of 2022 or going into 2023 was 8.7%. Now, the COLA calculation with the result rounded to the nearest 1/10 of 1% is the following. You can see 291.901 minus the previous year's 268.421. Now that difference divided by the previous year times 100 to equal 8.7%. Now here's a chart of the CPI-W comparing last year's numbers to this year's numbers, and as we know now, July had an increase of 2.7%. So if that occurs every single month for the next 2 months, then we can assume that there will be a 2.7% increase. However, we have to keep an eye on inflation and see what's going to be happening, because that number could go up, it could go down. That is just the first set of data. Now let me know your thoughts. Is 3% going to be enough of an increase? I mean, right now inflation has been at record highs and people are struggling to make it day to day. Now, in addition to that, we're hearing that the shortfall, the deficit for Social Security last year in 2022 was about $88.5 billion. I've heard some say it's over $100 billion, but according to this report here from the Federation of American Scientists, they say it was about $88.5 billion in a shortfall, in cash flow deficit, where there was not enough income and there was $88.5 million in excess that went out. Now, with that shortfall, also keep in mind the fact that there's still over $300 billion stimulus pandemic funds from previous packages still just sitting there. What if we tapped into those funds and used them to help the shortfall of Social Security, or just send out a Social Security stimulus check? A lot of people have been waiting for a $1,200 check. There's still leftover stimulus funds sitting there that could go out to help somebody. So we have got to address the solvency issue. And in addition to that, right now, the payments that are going out are just simply not enough for individuals receiving these. There's nearly 70 million Americans that are depending on this, and right now it is falling short. And that is why it seems like every day right now we're hearing a lot about Social Security and reform, and they're saying that 2023 is going to be the year of Social Security reform. They have got to get something done. And that is why we have seen several pieces of legislation proposing to reform the entire system and provide major increases, some of which they're saying would be $2,400 a year or $200 every single month, which is what we had heard promised by the Biden administration and what we are currently seeing in the Social Security Expansion Act, which has been reintroduced into Congress and has actually just recently been mentioned again. They're saying this needs to be done so that way people can get a bump up, because where things currently are at, it is just simply not enough. And in addition to that, taxation. Double taxation is taking place, and we're hearing that if they can get rid of this double taxation, that in and of itself would provide an increase to recipients. And we've also heard several people here on the channel mention, what about back pay for double taxation? That's been taking place for years while people have been collecting this. They're saying it's not fair that they pay into the benefits and are taxed, and then when they take out, they're taxed as well. So there's a lot going on with Social Security right now, and we're hearing that tomorrow is the big day when they're saying they want to see the Social Security 2100 Act brought to the floor for a vote. Now, as I mentioned, there's a ton going on. I've been releasing a lot of videos on current events, breaking news taking place right now. And if you want to see the latest, be sure to check out these videos right here as I cover for you the 2400 Act and also the bill that says no more double taxation on Social Security. So check those ones out next. And you guys, I'll keep you up to date on the increases. The next set of data is going to be released next month to see what the cost of living adjustment COLA increase is going to be for Social Security in 2024. And I'll be sure to let you know every step of the way. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.